The JPEG and TIFF formats that you learned about in previous lessons have been around for decades, but the HEIC format is the new kid on the block. HEIC is short for High Efficiency Image Coding, which is the file name that Apple uses for HEIF, the High Efficiency Image File Format. You gotta love all this technology jargon, right? Only a word or only a phrase that an engineer could love. Now, I've heard people pronounce this every possible way, including HEC and HEIC and HEIC, but to avoid any embarrassment on my part, I'm just going to call it HEIC. The HEIC format was released in 2015, and Apple started using it on the iPhone X in 2017. It was created by the same group that developed the MPEG video format, and it's based on the new H.265 video compression technology, which you'll learn about in a later lesson. So I think there are two things that make the HEIC format especially interesting. First, it's not just a file format, but it's a container that can actually store multiple images, rotated variations, cropped variations, sequences like a burst mode from a camera phone, and so on. The second thing is that the HEIC format can store high quality files in a smaller file size when compared with the more common JPEG format. So the promise of getting more kinds of content at higher quality in smaller file sizes sounds pretty awesome. Unfortunately, the adoption of the HEIC format is pretty sparse outside of iOS devices such as iPhones and iPads. The HEIC format is supported on Mac OS High Sierra and later, that's Mac OS 10.13, iOS 11 and later, Android Pie and later, that's version 9, and Windows 10 version 1803 and later. The HEIC format is also supported by Adobe Lightroom and a handful of other apps. But at this point, it is supported by no web browsers and very few other software apps and websites and cloud services. So while it's a great format, the adoption isn't strong even after almost 5 years. While I appreciate the format and genuinely respect the engineering that went into it, I'm not confident that it's getting enough adoption in the industry to be a safe format for long-term archiving. Therefore, I recommend converting HEIC files to JPEG with Adobe Lightroom Classic or the free iMazing HEIC converter software. Lastly, I also recommend to my clients that they disable the HEIC format in the camera settings on their iPhones and, at least for now, stick with JPEG.